What up, YouTube? It's Kurt here, and today we're going to talk about Dark Magician and why nobody really plays Dark Magician except for people that are really into the archetype. And as a deck, as a whole, it's just a really bad deck when it comes to competitive play. And there's there's a reason why you haven't really seen Dark Magician really ever top any events that I can think of, at least in recent memory. And when you do searches on where it's placed in the past, I can't really find any decks that placed any major tournament ever since Yu-Gi-Oh has even been a thing. And Dark Magician is just in that weird zone to where it just never got the real support it needed to be a great deck. It's just in that awkward zone, and now since it got new support, the last good support that it got was in 2016, I believe. And we're just playing a match for fun to see if we can actually do anything. But we probably can't really do all that much here because we didn't really get much of a hand. Let's see. But anyway, ever since that came out, that support was okay. But the thing is, all right, there are several. Magician just doesn't get access to any really good cards. That's the problem that it faces. See, like here, when you get the XC summons, there's not that many great level 7s. There's not that many great level 6s that really take advantage of the archetype. You do get Witch's Apprentice here, which is okay. You can put Summon Sorcerers up, and that can help you combo to some plays. But really, in the end, it's just not fast enough. In C, you get the Moral Leader here. You get Naruto. Spell negation isn't as important as it used to be, and so that's why the archetype is just, for the most part, is just really, really bad. And just because it doesn't have that power. All right, so we're gonna try to get off a virus here. Okay, so this time it actually turned out really, really good and funny because he's playing Salamangreat, and that just happened to be a good trap against Salamangreat. So that's pretty funny. But anyway, going back, in order to get Dark Magician on the field, you can have Dark Magic Circle. Dark Magic Circle is kind of good, but then to get it on the field, you either have to have Magician's Navigation, which is a trap, or you have to have that one book trap. I can't even remember the name of it right now. But you have to get that on the field. And once that's on the field, it takes a turn, of course, for it to set. And once you set it and activate it during your opponent's turn, after that, if it gets wiped off the field, then you lose all of your monsters. If you lose all of your monsters to your own card effect, that generally is a good way to tell if your card is really, really bad. So it shouldn't be, it should be hopefully pretty obvious as to why that card alone makes the archetype pretty bad. I don't think I really have to explain much beyond that alone. But we can talk about more dimensions of why Dark Magician is just really hard to even make into a good card. Not into a good card, into a good archetype. Really, it just needs that extra support, which it doesn't have. Of course, you do have the niche cards where you can. There are the several niche cards which allow you to summon Dark Magician for a huge cost, like half your life points. But once you get on your field, most of the time you can't really do anything, and that's the problem there. So I'm actually playing Lilith in this build. Let's see. Tribute one dark monster. Don't have that. Don't have that. I'll just do navigation. Yeah. Click on the navigation here. Card to flip up. There we go. Now I got it. Pretty much that's randomized. So now we have Trap Trick. I probably did that wrong. Still, I'm kind of a noob to playing this deck, but that's all right. All right. We're going to get Trap Trick down there. And it's a shame we don't have Dark Magic Circle right now, but that's whatever. Select a monster to summon. We'll summon this guy. So this guy's another support card, and it really doesn't do anything that tremendous. As you can see, we do have a lot of monsters on the field, and we just got really lucky going first. So that is another dimension of why Dark Magician is just bad. It requires too much. There's too much pressure on going first. There's not really much you can do if you go second. So we just beat a meta deck with this deck, which is hilarious. I probably could decide. I just downloaded this deck and modified it a little bit, so I really don't have a side deck. So now their Salamangreat is just gonna go kind of crazy all over this deck because we just we don't. Our deck isn't really built to deal with second turn outside of being forced to play an evenly matched, which not every deck relies on building a huge board. We could play some back row destruction, which is good against this deck. But again, it's one of the situations where you almost have so many choices that, yeah, it's hard to fit all of these things in your deck. So with any deck, I guess you can side deck. You can make a really great side deck for the deck, and that will make obviously everything better. But yeah, Dark Magician is just like within the current meta, there are so many cards that just get a lower cost and better reward. As you can see here, if you just draw Dark Magician, that tends to be a card you cannot use on your first turn. And the way to make Dark Magician probably great is if they just come out with a completely insane level 7 XZ monster. That's the way I can see it. Or here's something even more crazy. If they do a Dark Magician themed Synchro monster and give the deck a tuner, I think that could be a way to make the deck just absolutely insane. And of course, you could combine that with something like this card, but also gives you a summon. That can make the deck somewhat competitive. And I don't think we'll actually see that for a little while. This is this weird thing with Konami. It's like they do not want to see Dark Magician become a top deck. I think part of the reason why they probably don't want that is because they would probably see too many memes about it. If that, like, when Blue Eyes made a top, Blue Eyes was a huge meme deck, and now you can still see a lot of players playing Blue Eyes, even though it's become a bad deck. And I think they kind of fear the same thing to a degree with Dark Magician. If Dark Magician became really good and then got power crept, it might look really bad. But the way they did it with Blue Eyes is like Blue Eyes didn't get anything hit on the ban list because, I mean, it was great, but it was hard to point out one single card that was just completely busted in the deck, and people could play around it very well. But with Dark Magician, yeah, it would be terrible to have your main like series archetype become really good. Oh, we just lost connection. But anyway, this is still good a session. Yeah, it would be a shame for your main series archetype to get all the support and get really good, and then try to nerf it on the ban list. A lot of players would just be unhappy based on the fact on the archetype alone. So, yeah, creating a huge archetype that everybody loves and then limiting it is not a great formula to please your fan base. That's probably a bigger reason why it might not ever get really, really good support. That's just my opinion. I'll just go ahead and end the video there if we've seen a little gameplay. But that's mostly the reason why you'll never see this deck be competitive. All right, so that's all I got, guys. Peace.